How did you get started playing music?
I grew up in a very musical house. My parents were in a 50s, 60s, 70s cover band when I grew up, and they kind of played all over the area. And my front living room was literally a full band set up every night of the week. So it was nothing but a stack of records to the ceiling and old tunes being played all the time. So music was just something that we always were and we always did. So started singing songs at 2 and haven't quit, really. Now I get paid for it.
Do you always play with the same guitar, or do you switch it up?
I write with one. I have a few. I have a couple that I hang on the wall, and I touch them when I'm playing certain songs or I'm writing. And then I have one that I pretty much just play out with. It's not the most expensive guitar, and that way if something happens, gets stolen out of the back of the car or whatever, you know, it's not that big of a loss. But when I'm traveling with it, I try not to take the better ones out.
When people come out to see you, what can they expect?
When people come out to see my show, they can expect just, I guess, to be entertained. I guess it's somewhat of a train wreck waiting to happen, with one side of the rails always on, but the other one's just kind of teetering. I don't know, it's fun. I do a lot of original music in a 3-hour show, which is what most of mine are in the bars and venues around here. I'll do about an hour and a half of original, and then anywhere from 2 hours of covers, and I'll do some other people's music. And you know, it's entertaining when you play a kick drum, stomp box, and tambourine. That's what happens. It's chaos. It's mass hysteria. Sirens are called. It's a train wreck.
What do you like about the music scene in the 419?
The music scene in the 419 has really got some cool things going. There's finally a lot of different bars and restaurants and venues that the owners and the promoters are really into the music now and promoting them and using them as a tool to promote their own businesses. And there's a general community now in the 419 musicians that probably hasn't been seen in a long time. You can go to any bar in town on any given night and see members of different bands sitting in and jamming out together, and working on other projects together. So it's really cool to see that.
What bars do you enjoy playing at?
There's a few bars in town. There's actually a lot of bars in town I like playing at, but I'll single out a few. The Village Idiot's probably one of the coolest little spots in the region for music, and a lot of people don't know it. I don't know whether or not it's because it's a local spot. People just forget it's here or what, but there's fantastic music in there every night of the week, you know. The Local's a great spot. I actually cut my teeth at the Local. It's a nice little spot, good beer selection, and there's always good music playing out of there. Bar 145 is another one. Again, great spot for music and food. It's a good combination of both, so it definitely works. And I found a nice little home up at the Cocoa House just north of the border, which is nice. And a few others around, definitely a few others around, but those are definitely some fun spots. Place out in Swanton, oddly enough, now, which who would, you know, when you think of like music spots, Swanton wants to do some stuff. There's Father John's Brewery, microbrewery out in Bryan, is a great spot for musicians. It's an old church that they turned into a microbrewery, you know, so it's great place for original musicians to cut their teeth.
What projects are you working on?
Right now, I got my hands in a few different things. I'm working on the album right now. That should be done hopefully soon. Working on the Fulton Williams documentary, which is down along the road, The Life and Times of Fulton Williams. There we're using a bunch of different musicians and actors and filmmakers and photographers in town in the 419, and shooting in town, shooting out in the country. We're doing a lot of that different stuff. Kind of tells the story of a guy. You know, he's a man's man. You know, he just kind of cut his teeth, hit the road in the music world, and came back and tried to raise a family and disappeared in the long run. And it's a cool little story, and it'll have a lot of local flair to it. And definitely looking forward to that. And Got schedule's always full of shows, you know, in and out of the area. So, and got the deal with Crutchware, which is nice. We do a lot of stuff with them. Chad there is a fantastic local business owner. He's always pushing, you know, local musicians, artists, other businesses. I know with the t-shirt side of things, you know, he asked me if I'd like to do some t-shirt designs for him, so we're in the process of doing that kind of stuff. And I do other designs for other bands and whatnot. I know I've done the Last Born Sons t-shirt designs, so I've always got my stuff in my hands and that kind of stuff.
So what are some names of some local musicians that we should check out?
Oh, there's a ton of local musicians. Andrew Ellis, first and foremost, I'll give him credit before anybody else. The Last Born Sons they're some of the most fantastic musicians in town. Right Angles are good. The Distant Cousins, Noisy Neighbors, Fox Harbor's a great band. Joe Woods does some fantastic stuff, both original wise and cover. Dunlop, I'll give Dunlop a shout out too. The Autophiles. I mean, there's a lot of good bands in town. A lot of good solo guys. Joey Vasquez does the country thing out west of here, and just does it fantastic. So there's definitely some good artists. Jeff Stewart's one of the best around. Just one of the best human beings, really. I mean, just as an artist and a person. So just people like that. There's a lot of them.
Thanks, Ryan, for being the featured musician at the Glass City 419. We really appreciate your time. We look forward to your projects coming up, and if you have a chance, make sure you check him out at one of his upcoming shows.
Right on. Thank you guys. Appreciate what you guys do. It's always good when you got somebody that helps promote and network and you know, with everything going on in the city, it's nice to have a place like what you guys do that kind of brings it all into one spot. So it's cool to do. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me be a part of it, and look forward to seeing what you guys do as well.